everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to finally be able to show you guys how I made these beautiful pockets using Pergamano crafting technique. Now before we start, let me just introduce to you what Pergamano crafting is. So this is a starter kit that I bought long time ago, and I'm sure it's still available in your craft shop. And the idea of this technique is actually to get your parchment paper, or in some office supply shop they call this vellum, and for my case I use something similar, and I bought a tracing paper from office supply shop, and this is very cheap. It cost about $2 for a very big one like this. And choose a tracing paper that is, very thick, that you can use as a pocket. And what you do is actually just to use a white pen, or the original one is using white paint. I've used it all up, but now that I've used it all up, I just bought this. I have this at home, so I just used this and it worked. I used this Cahier white gel pen. I actually bought this as part of a set here, pretty in pastel Cahier gel pen. And if you notice, it's almost half empty because I've been using this, making all these pockets. And of course, after you draw the flowers or the butterflies that you like, you will actually use your embossing tool to give it a three-dimensional effect like this. Don't worry if you don't have the embossing tool. You can use a ballpoint pen that doesn't write anymore, but you just need to be very careful. So let's get started then. In this tutorial, I decided to make a cover for this bullet journal that will work, or that will double as a pocket. Now step 1 will be to cut your tracing paper into the shape or size that you need. For this one, just draw a line that spans the sides of the shape or the size of my bullet journal. So this is step 1. Step 2 is doodling. I actually like this pattern that I made here, so I'm gonna copy the exact thing that I did for this one. And these are all just curves in flower-like or leaf-like objects on the side. So I'm gonna do the entire border of this tracing paper. So we'll just doodle. You can see that actually I'm just drawing curves and leaves, random shapes, and you don't really need to learn to know how to draw to make it nice, because when you just draw curves, when you look at my border, it's not really making any sense, but later on it will look very pretty when we have started embossing it. Now what I'm doing here is just actually tracing the lettering that I did in my bullet journal. So one of the advantages of using tracing papers, you can actually trace from your coloring book, from any image that you would like. For this instance, the butterfly, I like the shape of the butterfly, but I don't like the inside or the patterns in the wings, so I just traced the butterfly outline, and then I just started drawing the patterns of the wings, because the more intricate pattern or the more lines you draw in your butterfly, when you start embossing it, it will look 100% better. So I'm also drawing a flower now, and I'm just just randomly drawing shape, just randomly drawing petals and then leaves. You can copy a different flower, or you can draw rose, or I'm just drawing a basic flower over there. So once you finish, you know, drawing, the next step, the step number 3, is actually embossing it. And you can just get your mouse pad or anything soft to cushion while you're embossing. Not too soft, because if you get a very soft material, it will you will puncture your tracing paper, and you don't want to break your tracing paper. So what I'm doing here is just actually drawing the outline using the embossing tool. It's like drawing, but now using your embossing tool, run through the outline of your images. You will see that once you've run through the outline of your images, you can stop right then and there. The image is already coming alive. But if you want to do some more, then you can do some shading, or we can say coloring, to give you a more three-dimensional effect. You see it's starting to come alive. Just a simple flower or a simple doodle, and then you just emboss it. It's really magnificent. You will have a lacy effect. That's what I feel when I started doing Pergamano crafting. The effect is somewhat like wedding theme, or lacy, very feminine. And yeah, so now I'm almost finished. I'm doing the border. See, it's just, the border is basically just running through the outline again. And as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have an embossing tool, you can always use your ball pen or maybe the needle to crochet. So what I'm doing now is just cutting the corners, so that when I put it in my bullet journal, I won't have extra folds over there, and it's just gonna be very easy for me to cover the journal. So I'm just folding, and you can see how easy it is to fold it. This is the final product. You can leave it as it is. I feel that it's nice as it is, but if you want to use it as a pocket, like what it's supposed to be, you can put different colored backgrounds. I actually prepared three backgrounds for this. So I have just pink and ribbon and a buckle, and it's like this. It's so nice and pretty. And I also prepared the printed one like that. It's also nice and girly and cute and sweet. And I also prepared bluish one like that, and it's also very nice. So yep, thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye.